Hello guys, in today's video I wanted to show you how you all can get a tier 4 Skavenblight by turn 5. Now previously I didn't think this was possible due to Morgur here placing a Herdstone in and thusly creating Skavenblight to be part of the Bloodground, which we can see right here. But I wanted to give a big shout out to Big Aca on convincing me to give it a go in my live stream yesterday morning and to test it out. Now before we get into the video itself, I do have some things to be on the lookout for, mainly being Morgur. As you can see, you know, we can tell that he hasn't destroyed anything yet, which is good, but it's just something to keep tabs on, because the faster he blows stuff up, like if you see Lupio here like not in the settlement, he's more likely out in like the actual map. And just giving Morgur more opportunity to fight battles in his Bloodground area. So just keep tabs on, you know, if Magritta's been blown up, if Nuja, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, is blown up, because as soon as he can, you know, perform the blood rite, he will. Thusly, if you abandon Skavenblight, when it becomes red, you won't actually be able to reoccupy it. So it's not something that, you know, you can do on like turn 8 or 10 maybe, like it just depends. But just keep an eye on that. Like he could not. I've had campaigns where he doesn't blow anything up, you know, at all. But you know, at the end of the day, you don't really know where he's at in terms of his progression and making the blood rite happen. So that's why tier 5 is the fastest I've been able to do it. You might be able to do it on tier 4 if you use the dominating scheme, just to get more food generated. But again, for the big thing to look out for is just how fast Morgur expands, because I've had him blow up Magritta, blow up this settlement, attack Lupio in the open field, and he's put it down by like turn 6. So just something to be on the lookout there. And I do want to preface the fact that this is not guaranteed to work. I've had several campaigns where Morgur does go on a rampage and blow stuff up and, you know, makes a Bloodground. I abandon it on like turn 4 or 5, and then at the start of the next turn it doesn't let me occupy it because he's initiated the blood rite. So again, it's something to be on the lookout for, but however, it is possible with a little bit of luck. Now into the video. So as you can see here, I'm on turn 4 already. I'm just going to explain what I've done up to this point, turn by turn, and then I will go through this turn just to show you guys how I go about it. So on turn 1, it's very similar to the Warhammer 2 campaign that you'd probably do with Ica. You're going to sack to borrow, which we obviously have been doing, and then you're going to put in the Scavenger Raiders building, which provides the food generation of 1 per turn. You're also going to recruit your second lord. I would recommend getting a Warlock Master, just because you do need to rank 1 up to upgrade the workshop, but any lord would work technically. You just need a lord to be able to recruit some units, but the big one here is to raid, so we get that food generation of +3. And then in terms of Skavenblight itself, you will put the exploitative planning. That way you get more food generating. And then also, which I have it demolished now, but also build the growth building just to get some technology going. And start that whole process, because like any campaign with Skaven, you want to get to monstrous abominations to help with that juicy research rate up in the top left corner here. But that's what you do for turn 1. So just a brief recap. You're going to sack to borrow and put in an Undercity. You're going to recruit a second lord and just recruit some units just to make Ica, you know, army a little stronger to start off with. You're going to place the exploitative planning edict down to make more food being generated each turn, and then again build the growth building just to get some technology going. Now turn 2 and 3 is very easy, very basic. You're gonna sack to borrow and then begin your raiding process with Icket, and place the Lord in Skavenblight again to to raid, or excuse me, not to raid, to recruit, because you won't actually have enough movement when he moves from Skavenblight to Ica to transfer the units, and so he's not able to raid because he doesn't have enough movement by turn 2, and so I've just put him back into Skavenblight just to recruit some more units and then continue on, with the next turn, which takes us to turn 3. Now you're going to sack to borrow, and then on turn 3, this is where it's pivotal. You need to raid with both lords. That way, both of your lords are giving you 3 food per turn. And then also on turn 3, you're going to demolish the growth building. It's not that big of a deal. It's just to get a little money back from building it, because you won't. Unfortunately, you won't have the capability to destroy the warpstone telescope to get some money back, which is 1,200, but 1,200 is 1,200 gold, but you really need the food generated +4, because unless you're playing on easy or normal difficulty where you will get, like 4 or 6 food from sacking it, playing on very hard campaign and battle difficulties, you'll only get 2 food per turn from sacking it. So it's really important that you keep the warpstone telescope active and not demolished, because you need that 4 food generated. Alright, and then at this point, we'll be moving on to turn 4. So on turn 4, you're also going to sack it one last time and then raid it, and then you're also going to abandon Skavenblight at this time. Now don't worry, I know you can't, in Warhammer 3, you can't occupy Skavenblight, if you don't hold another settlement, and that's okay, because we're going to just move on here in the actual campaign now and just show you guys what to do on turn 5. So we'll just end the turn here and we'll go through it, which it will take a little bit just because there's so many factions live. But while it's going, through the loading, the end turn here, just the big thing is recruiting that second lord, just so you can get another lord, another army raiding, because you do need that 3 food generated to be able to do this by turn 5. And I will put timestamps in the video before I release it. I'll have timestamps like for turn 1, turn 2, turn 3, and whatnot, just so you guys can see. If you forget a step, if it doesn't work, you can go back and see what's going on. Alright, so on this turn, you do need to occupy Magreta, to borrow. So on turn 5, you will just occupy it this time. I'm just going to auto-resolve it for, whatever. There we go. So now we've captured Tabarro, so we own a settlement. And if we check on Morgar, he hasn't done like any destruction in this campaign. So Skavenblight is, not in his blood ground. And then we take this lord and occupy it. And there we go, tier 4 on turn 5. There we go. And you got a good amount of money to build up, the buildings that you need. And they've also reduced the cost of several buildings. I think they've done that kind of across the board in Warhammer 3. And also in Skavenblight now you can actually get walls, because they've readjusted how, the units, not the how, but the units that certain settlements get. But anyway, that is how you do the Skavenblight tier 4, just to show it again on turn 5. Let me know what you guys think if you've found this out in your campaigns, but don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and feel free to leave a comment if you have a question or if you've missed something. Don't be afraid to ask, and I will do my best to answer it as soon as I can. But thank you guys again for the support, and I will see you guys again soon. Bye.